2024 was my 4th year doing YouTube. I had the opportunity to work with a lot of great brands, demoing tons of awesome gear, and I found some stuff that I never ever want to part with, as well as some other stuff that I found to be a little bit underwhelming. I'm not going to be doing a full recap, that would just take way too long, but what I am going to do is highlight one piece of gear in separate categories that I deem the best, at least in my opinion, of 2024. Before I do any of that, I do want to say one thing, and that is to thank you. Without all of you and your support, your comments, and becoming a part of this community, none of this would be possible, and I probably would have quit a long time ago. So thank you for that. Also, there's not going to be any playing in today's video, but with that being said, if I've already made a video on whatever I'm talking about at the given moment, I'll leave a link right up here and you can click on it after you're done watching this one and check it out from there. Affiliate links are in the description to Sweetwater and to Toman if you want to help the channel out. Appreciate all you doing that as well, but with that out of the way, let's get started. Best utility device of the year. I consider this to be the unsung hero of the year, and it's not something flashy like a custom shop guitar or a boutique amplifier, but it really has made a big difference in how I'm able to create for you guys as well as myself when I'm recording now because of the flexibility that it gives me. And that would be the 2Notes Captor X. I went years saying I would never use anything like this. I'm always just going to throw a microphone in front of the cabinet and work from there, or I'll book time in a recording studio. But since I've gotten this thing, I have grown to appreciate it so much. Any hour of the day or night, I can get an amazing sound out of it. I can do a lot of editing after the fact if I want to record one of the signals coming out dry, just have fun. And it gives me just so much creative control after the fact, and I love it, and I can't see myself living without this. Best pedal of the year. This one's a little awkward since my favorite pedal of the year is one that I haven't even made a video about yet, but it is the Hologram Electronics Chroma Console. I love this pedal and I use it all the time when I'm writing songs or working on stuff for my own kind of usage. And you know, sometimes people on YouTube, we actually do work on music. It's not just for show. This is so easy to use, and one complaint that I've had with a lot of other multi-effects pedals in the past, they've all sounded great in their own rights, but I've spent more time working with kind of UI that was a little bit difficult, menu diving inside of the computer and editors, and all that flexibility is great, but there's something about this specific device. It is so easy to get great sounds out of it. You can get so many great sounds out of it. If you want to make things complicated, you can on this. There's a lot of secret little commands and parameters that you can do, but most of all, it just works. I plug in the guitar, and I'm up and running. I'm not wasting time on the other stuff. So for me, this is my favorite pedal of the year. Best amplifier of the year. Recently, I've demoed a few amplifiers on this channel. The Fender Princeton Reverb 65 that was modded by Sweetwater, the Supro Amulet, as well as the Victory Limited Edition Sheriff Combo. I love the Sheriff Combo. That would be my pick for second place. But my number one favorite amp of the year is a no-brainer because it just fits me and my everyday style perfectly. It's got to be the Dr. Z, the Z Plus Studio Combo. The reverb on this thing is tremendous. The clean tones are tremendous. And when I want to use the master volume, crank it down a little bit and then up the gain, the drive on it is fantastic. It's well built. It sounds awesome. Just killer amp, and easily my pick for favorite of the year. Biggest disappointment. I try my best to be both positive and fair when I review gear. Even if a piece of gear is not meant for me, it's just not something I'm into. If I can see the usage for other people and I believe it is a quality, well-built product at a fair price, I'm going to recommend it to you guys as well. Sometimes you get underwhelmed. And in this case, it's from a company that I didn't want to include on this list, but it's just the God-honest truth. It's Harley Benton. It's the ST Modern Plus. That guitar had so much hype around it. I remember seeing it when they unveiled it at the 2023 Guitar Summit in September of that last year. Waited all the way until I think April to get one in my hands, and when I did, it was pretty much right out of the box something where I said, oh man, this does not live up to the hype whatsoever. The specs didn't match up, the descriptions didn't match up, and quite frankly, it just wasn't on par with the level of the other Harley Bentons, which I love them for their value. I do not mean to say that Harley Benton is a bad company. I just feel like they kind of missed the mark with that specific model. It was disappointing, and honestly, I hope going forward that they learn, from this, and obviously they have better communications with the people that they source to build these guitars to make sure that the products are coming exactly as advertised, because I wasn't the only one that had those sorts of issues with it. Best guitar of the year. It may be cliche to say, but it's the truth. We're in the golden age of guitars. We have great options at any given budget. And I've gotten to play some awesome brand new guitars this year. Brands like Fender USA, Fender Japan, Tokai, the Gibson Custom Shop, Gibson USA, PRS SE, all sorts of incredible brands that make incredible instruments, but none of those that I just mentioned were my favorite guitar of the year. That is reserved for this one right here. The Sir Alt T, made in Lake Elsinore, just north of what I consider to be my forever home of San Diego, California. It's not often that a guitar exceeds your expectations, especially one that's at the price of this, because this ain't exactly a cheap instrument, but man, it really did. This is the best production guitar that I have ever played in my entire life that I was able to get new. The frets on this were perfect, perfectly polished, perfectly level. The neck on this has a feel. It just felt immediately like I've had this guitar for my entire life. T-body style, do I even need to say anything more about that? The stability on this thing is fantastic, and it's comfortable, and the electronics left me not wanting to change a single thing about it. I play this guitar all the time, and the more that I play it, the more that I decide this is an absolute lifer, and I will never sell this instrument. At the end of last year, I made the bold claim of saying I wasn't going to buy any more guitars for myself in this year of 2024, and that was foolish. There was no way I was ever going to be able to do that, and if I had done that, I wouldn't have found this one, and that would have been a damn shame. But with that being said, considering I buy and sell guitars for side money, it's just never going to happen. I'm not going to do anything like that this year, but I do have some closing thoughts as far as things going into the future of this YouTube channel and me as a musician go. My favorite video that I worked on in this year had this guitar in it, and it was a demo video. It was for the Origin Effects MEQ driver. The reason why I had so much fun with that is because I composed and I finally finished an original idea that I had and turned it into an actual song. This year, in 2025, I've got 10 so far that I have listed out that need to be done, but they will be done YouTube inspired from demos and just noodling around songs that will be put onto an album that you will be able to purchase or stream however you want to listen to it in 2025. And I promise you, that is non-negotiable. That is getting finished in the upcoming year. Hope you're around to hear it. But outside of that, last thing I want to do is look back at the end of last year one more time and see what guitars have stayed with me throughout this journey and that are never going to go anywhere most likely. Both of the JVs, the Fender Japan vintage guitars, the Telecaster, and the Strat. Those are lifers no matter what, as is the Fender 65 reissue Jazzmaster. The 77 Albatross also stayed. That's never going to go anywhere. And finally, the Fender Super Thinline Telecaster Deluxe has quickly become one of my all-time favorite guitars that was really pushed over the edge with the set of Lollartrons. Man, I'm spoiled for choice, and honestly, if I never had the opportunity to purchase another guitar again, I'd be just fine with what I have. But we know that's not going to happen now, is it? I look forward to seeing where next year goes. I hope you're here along for the ride. Thank you again for all of your support and another year of doing this, and I hope that next year we continue and maybe we grow even further than we are right now. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful, happy, and healthy year. Take care, everybody.